So I've been finished. Sorry, I'm just taking off without you.
Yes, 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 yes.
So I've
Of
concentrated
course.
on a platform that I don't usually play on so much, which is NES. Well, I do actually, but not lately, if I recall correctly. So I
You don't bring a lot of
Ooh,
games from
I
NES.
don't know.
Okay.
Good segue into telling our listeners soon there'll be the search engine ready, but we'll talk a bit more about that later on in next episode or maybe in January. However, yes, you're probably right. However, I did decide to bring a NES game this time. It's something I saw a long time ago, but then I never really made anything out of it, and I just thought I'll leave it there for a little while, and then I forgot about it, and then I thought, oh, I need to play this game because it actually looks legit, like it's really well made, and it is. The game I'm talking about is Astro Ninja Man DX for the NES. S-
I've seen that also a long time ago, but it wasn't available or I couldn't find
mm.
it anywhere for sale.
So I found it for
So
sale.
I
It's
don't
out of
know.
stock in most places, but there are a couple of places that are still going. I found them. I'll put the link in the description of the game as soon as the episode's out. So you can, if you click that link and you're fast enough, there's still copies. I found two places actually. One I've lost track of and I forgot where it is. But then I found another place that I've got still quite a few in stock. If you want to buy it.
Wasn't it on a limited run
Yes, so this is a Japanese
games?
game, yeah. So it was distributed by Limited Run Games, but you can still get the Japanese version outside Limited Run Games, and that still works.
Okay.
And I tell you as well, it costs £31 on a site called JapanFigure.com, and then you can find it there. However, I will put again the link in the description, and you can try and see if you want it. You can try and see if you still got it in stock when the episode airs. So, Astro Ninja Man
Hmm.
DX, it's a vertical shooter, which I love shooters, and that's why I went to it directly. It's developed by a guy called Ricky, and it's sort of a
Okay.
Gallagher shooter. So you are stuck at the bottom. You can't go up and down, but you're stuck at the bottom of the screen, and you can go left and right, and you shoot. It's a very very simple game.
Hmm.
And let's say you are a character that moves continuously. This Astro Ninja Man. It's like I don't know, a dude in a suit with his hands going up and down continuously, and when you press the button, it shoots. It's very simple mechanics. It's very simple controls. Controls really well on the NES as well. It's very responsive and it has no lag. You never feel like I'm saying this because there's a lot of stuff moving, and you'd expect the NES to stutter, but it's incredibly well animated and
Absolutely.
probably well programmed with sorts of tips, or not trips, also probably also some trips to get there, but some tips, some mushrooms. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks very like.
yeah. So it controls very well, and there's a lot of stuff moving, and every enemy that you hit does a little animation with a square that moves and then disappears. There's so much going on that I was really impressed by how the performance of the NES could be tweaked to that extent, really.
Also, the whole screen seems to be filled
Yes, it is a
with
bullet
bullets.
hell sort of game. It's not at the level of the cave shooters. There's not that enormous amount of bullets, but there's quite a few bullets. I think what you're noticing as well is that there's some parallax background going on as well. It's just incredible for the NES, the technical achievements that we can see nowadays. So this one in particular really struck me as how smooth it was. It does stutter when you get to later
Hmm.
levels, and there's a lot of enemies. Like I don't know, let's say a 4x8 row, or probably more of enemies. It does slow down a little bit, but
So there's slowdown, but not
not one
sprite
sprite
flicker.
flicker for me. I did not see one. So really good.
Okay.
And yeah, I've read a bit of the background, how they make this stuff happen with a background technique but you can only use one color. And if you notice, the bosses are all one color. They're enormous and they move really quickly on the screen as well, like really swiftly and with no lag or no stutter. And I'm just so impressed by it. Anyways,
And it fits the style when it's only one
yeah,
color. You think maybe a bit boring,
they
but it
managed to keep it.
somehow
Yeah,
fits
it's
the
really good.
style.
So this
Yeah.
is developed by Ricky, and distributed and published by Columbus Circle. And I did a bit of research on this company, and it is obviously a Japanese company. They do dev and distribution of retro games, but also hardware. So they have done some actually interesting things like Mega Drive console clone. For example, you can still find them online. They're relatively cheap. So they act like a nomad. So you can put a car in and you can play them. I didn't know this company and they did some other games. And as I'm venturing down these paths of new games for old microcomputers and consoles, I find some publishers that one is Oscar Kenneth Albero that we found that did loads of games that I didn't know about. This Columbus Circle has done some more, and there's Loco Malito has done quite a few as well. He's another one of these prolific game makers. Then they get ported for him. It's slightly different, but discover a lot of family of publishing and studios that make stuff and that publish stuff that are unknown, and then you delve into their catalog and you get another big whop of fresh stuff that you can look at. And I'm really interested in some other games that they've made.
Yeah, but it's unfortunately that sometimes it's quite hard to get them or reach to them, reach out to them. For example, I don't think you can get a ROM for this game.
It's only
right?
physical.
It's only physical. Right, so that's a hurdle. I think it's quite a hurdle to buy a physical game just to test it out.
Yeah, I know, but
and see if it's good. Sometimes it's a bit disappointing when you imported the game from Japan. And
it's true. But that's why we're here,
yeah,
so we can tell if it's a good game or not. So it's good.
Right. You're providing a service,
of course.
people.
Yeah, we provide a service for you guys, so you know what to buy, what not to buy. We tell you when the game is not good nowadays. So yeah,
So
this Columbus Circle, has done a lot of stuff in terms of other games as well, and bringing, let's say, games that were abandoned or have been discarded or not finished. They brought them back, and they finished them and they published them. So they did a lot of stuff that I would like to look into. So I'll try my best to get hold of other stuff as well. But this Astro, sorry, were you going to say something?
cool.
Okay.
No, I'm curious how that will end up. Hopefully, you can get that stuff.
As I said, there are
somehow.
links. They're not all super expensive, like this one is £31. If I've written it down. I hope I wrote the correct note. I'll find out by clicking this link afterwards. I'll have a look. But yes, so this Astro Ninja Man DX, again, shooter at the bottom. You're at the bottom. You got this Ninja Man, and you have one shot per arm. So you shoot one arm and you get one bullet and another one. And you get upgrades, but it's, again, very simple. This game is so simple, but so hard and so beautiful. So as you are shooting the enemies, sometimes you see some men that resemble yourself going like a little man, doing up and down with his arms, like a power up. And if you shoot it, you get a bunshin, which is in Japanese, it's a shadow. And you get a shadow of yourself. And you can get up to 4, so you can get 2 per side. And they also shoot. So you can increase your firepower by getting these little upgrades. and that's the only upgrade you get. That's it, finished, end of story. And
Okay.
this is, let's say, for starters, it's good because you have more firepower and you take less to kill big waves of enemies. Otherwise, it's very hard.
Also,
Yes,
it's really wide. Your shot gets
exactly.
really wide because
But
of
it
it.
has a little downside, which is you can't move as much on the right or on the left because you are blocked now by these other bunshin, these other shadows. So your movement range
Ah,
reduces as you have them. Uh,
interesting.
they
So they can't
don't,
get out
no.
of the
So they
screen.
stop
So
you. So what
ah,
happens? You get these bullets coming at you. So
okay.
as a good bullet hell game, you don't get. You have a smallish hit point on your character, on your ship. I was going to say, but it's not a ship. On your character, and then the shadow clones are not. They don't get hit basically. So the shots go through them, and they're just not there really. But their shots actually work against the enemy. So
Hmm.
again, you have to be very careful and very mindful in the bullet hell that you have to only be out of bullet range with your main character, which is white, and the clones are different colors. So it's very clearly distinguishable who you are. Obviously, you're the one in the middle, and when you
Hmm.
move, just be very careful. Just your character doesn't get hit, and you have to always move so the shadows are always in the trajectory of the bullets, and then you're fine. Okay. So there is another mechanic. There's only one shot, let's say, one shot that you can just do by, I think it's pressing. Yeah, no, it auto shoots. I think it was. Oh God, how can I not remember this? It auto shoots and automatically, and when you press a button, it does something like they call it the ninja sword, which is like a sort of like a bomb, let's say, and some
Okay.
rays come out.
So whatever you do, it just
Gosh,
continues on shooting this
I
game.
thought I had this covered, but I think it does. I am. I,
Uh, yeah, I looking at footage, I
I think
never
it
see it
just keeps
stop. So
shooting.
uh,
But I can go and
uh,
have a look back at this. I think it does because I remember the only thing it does when you press the button on the D-pad, the A or B button, it just gives you the mega blast.
mhm.
So the mega blast charges with some
Okay.
ninja stars. It charges automatically. That doesn't seem to be from the action I've seen. There's nothing that triggers it to reload. It's not like you hit enemies and it reloads. It seems just takes some time and then it goes up, but it goes up really fast. It doesn't take a long time, and then you can
Hmm.
release this mega blast again. And this is more powerful, and obviously
Okay.
it has a big reach because it's a line. It's not a shot, so the bullet is like continuous. It's like I don't know, a laser ray. Let's say, but they call them the swords. I don't know. I call them the laser rays from the hands,
Okay.
and this helps a lot. So you need to be
Makes
able
sense.
to also, how do you say, manage the stock of this blast that you've released, and know what do I mean by that. It's
Hmm.
not counted, so you don't have limited number of them. You have a limited number of them, but because the action is so fast paced, you have to sort of learn the waves as you go through the motions and then know exactly when to use that in the best situation. That's the only way then you can actually make it later on, because as the levels progress, the enemies become quicker and the bullets go faster, and it's really hard. So I've got to the third level. I think there's 4 total. And the third level is just insane for me. So
Does this laser beam
yes,
also
yes,
cancel bullets?
correct.
It
It
seems
does
like
kind
it.
of, yeah,
That, so it's also yeah, it's also a little bit like a bomb
yeah,
mechanic.
yeah.
So you can clear the screen a little bit of
Yes.
all the
Well, the
incoming
ones that are
bullets.
in the ray, yeah. So yeah, so if you got
Right.
two or three, so you've got two upgrades or one upgrade, so it only cancels a small portion of the bullets, yeah, but only where the ray is. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, it
Well,
helps for
at least it
sure,
helps.
and and it's crucial to be able to finish the game, to manage this and have the maximum number. I think of I think because up to now, I think having more clones and more upgrades is more beneficial, especially in the later levels. It's just wow, it's just insane.
So what kind of
Well,
enemies
the
are you
enemies you
fighting?
fight are dots. So they're dot enemies. They're not big spaceships or stuff like that. They're like circles, diamonds. There's all sorts of things coming down. They're shooting at you, and also if you get in contact with them, you die. There are some certain enemies that take more bullets, and they typically there's some squarish enemies that are golden, and they have like a centerpiece which you can shoot. There's a lot of mechanics going on for high scores here as well. So um, I'll
Hmm.
talk a little bit about that later. I haven't explored that in depth. My goal was to reach more, let's say, at the end of the level. So I didn't notice all the mechanics that of multiplication of the score, let's say. But mainly, there's no spaceships. It's just like inanimate objects that are shooting at you. But they're very well drawn. They're very well animated. They're smooth as butter, and they're great. When you hit them, they have a little square that trembles around them, and I think it's brilliant how they've done it.
It looks like a bit like a digital
Yeah, yeah,
explosion
yeah.
or something, like a sort of as if you're in a computer program or something. I don't know. Maybe a bit Tron-like or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's
I
good.
don't know. It's and it's also very Japanese. What it looks really offbeat, or how do you call it? Really strange. Everything is different than you would
Yeah,
think it
yeah.
would look
It's
or
got
something.
very
Vibrant
vibrant
colors and
colors, very um, strong, very simple graphics, very strong. I don't know presence, if that makes sense of this game. It's I think it's just not.
almost
Yeah. So
cartoon-like
yeah,
or
you got these
something.
enemies with like energy balls and other enemies like diamonds and other things that flow down and squares, cubes, which rotate and all sorts. And plus, you've got this parallax background going on, which is really well done. And but it does sometimes trick you because you see everything that's coming towards you, and then the background sometimes can blend in. It's not doesn't happen often, but sometimes because the action is so paced, you're really concentrating on the screen to be able to avoid the enemies.
Hmm.
You fall in a sort of hypnotic state, like oh my god, yep,
Yeah, the color palette is
yep.
also quite limited, so I can see some stuff will blend together if you're not
Yeah,
too
I was
careful.
saying before to
But
get the
yeah.
multiplier, you kind of have to complete the enemy waves. So basically, if you destroy all the enemy waves, it will leave you one coin that rotates. If you hit that coin, then you will get an extra boost in your score. Now, this is as far as I go in terms of what I know about the score multipliers. I don't know, you know, hitting certain elements I was mentioning before there is a sort of an enemy. It's like a snake. It's not really a snake, but it's made out of these square enemies, and in the center it's got like a ring, and then it's got some other squares on the other side, and it moves around the screen. I don't know, like for example, if you hit that center ring, if it actually gives you more score if you destroy that first or not. I don't know. That particular enemy though, when you um, when you encounter it, creates a bit of a problem, and I explain why. Because it's a bit of a bullet sponge. So when it comes in front of you, it kind of impedes your bullets to go further up. And because it takes quite a few hits to destroy, then all the bullets accumulate at the top. And if you don't have your Ninja Max, which is the bomb, they call it Ninja Max,
Mhm.
ready, then it might be the time that it kills you. So sometimes you're trying to kill the enemies, and this thing flies in and it stays in front of you, and it actively blocks your things, and you're like, oh, got to move out of the way. So there's a lot of technicalities here and techniques. You have to be quick with your reflexes and all to get this to be able to win. And already the increase in difficulty from level 1 to level 2 is very noticeable. I think it goes faster for sure. That I'm sure that. I think there's more bullets as well, and it's just a different. And obviously, you don't know the waves. The waves are different, so you have to relearn the waves. There's no pause button, so you can't pause the game. You just have to go.
Okay, that's weird.
And then when you turn it off, everything's reset. So yeah, you can't. There's no. You need if you want a save state here, you don't have it.
Everything is also quite big, so everything looks quite cramped in this game. But when it comes into the screen, it comes fast, and it's very fast, close to you as well. Normal with shoot 'em ups, everything is really zoomed out, but this is like a really, very big sprite. It seems that you have to have quite quick reflexes for this game.
Let's come to the boss fights. Yeah, the music is absolutely awesome.
Oh.
I'll talk the bosses in a minute. The music, if you want to know, is, my God, I love the music. I love the music to this game. Is incredible, especially, I think it was level 2. I love the musical level. I don't know. I think it's made by some really famous composers. I did write some names down. I have down. Oh, I don't know if I've got it. I don't know where I've put the names, but here they are: Hiroto Saito, Nobuyuki Shioda, and Bun, and Manabu Namiki. So they were Japanese, but obviously I'm no historian or connoisseur of all musicians, but I really love the music to this game. It really, I don't know, it's like chiptune.
Because when I look at this footage, I only see images. It really looks like a rave party. Because also that character seems like be dancing or something, pumping his hands in the air, and if you have like the little shadows next to you, it's like a little crowd dancing in formation. I don't know. It feels like a sort of rave party.
Right. That's the vibes.
Probably the music needs to fit that as well. I can imagine that it's quite a sight to behold with the music.
I really love this. Also, they have digital samples in the music. I didn't know NES could do that. I never heard it in the NES, so I was like, oh, it's very simple and very small, but it's actually, I don't remember what it says, but I'm like, oh my God, it's talking. That would have been like incredible. So anyways, get into the boss fights. Before the boss fights arrive, you get a huge warning, sorry. And every time a boss comes, this warning has something to say about you dying. So now die, or die now, or okay, finally die, or something like that, And then this giant boss comes, and the boss doesn't move really, like it doesn't animate in itself. It's just a giant image. And sometimes you're fighting like a giant person, like in a pose like that, showing his muscles, like and you just have to hit it loads of times. And again, when you hit it, there's a little box that illuminates and not illuminates, but it trembles, like you said, a digital thing before. It's really well done. Sometimes you have to fight a planet. So the planet wants to come to you and say, die, and you have to destroy the planet. Sometimes it's a giant skull. Just like out there, this game is just like going for it. Like, yeah, he's a skull.
Absolutely. It's really that's what I said. It's just Japanese, just a lot of stuff thrown together, and it just works somehow.
Exactly. I was just like, what is this? Oh, a skull in the middle of the space. Yes, okay. Then comes a skull of an animal, I think it was. Then comes a giant, another thingy that I didn't recognize what it was. Then this guy comes down. Okay, now the planet comes down, and it's just like, God, all right, yeah, just destroy everything. I think in the end, there's a dojo that comes down. It's just nuts.
Wow.
And you just in the middle of it and you're just going, yeah, it never stops. And you just go until you die. Anyways, at the end of each level, then you get a little screen saying, oh, congratulations, you made it to the next area. The background changes. I think it goes black, blue, black, and red to the last stage. But I only know the last stage because I looked at it because, good Lord, I don't have that level of reflex, not even in my wildest dreams. And I think that's about all there is to this game, which is, I think, one of the really nicest games that I've played on the NES and well made, like in terms of at least shoot 'em ups. So this was released in February 25,
Cool.
2022 by
So,
this Columbus Games, yeah? And when Limited Run Games did it, I think they did a collector's edition as well, where then you could find a load of stuff. I think also the music, so the like a CD, and yeah, that
oh, that's
I would
cool.
like to have that CD, but obviously I can't. But the music is just, I would just listen to the CD. It's just nuts.
Isn't
Oh,
that
is it?
just
Oh,
on
I don't know.
YouTube?
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
I
No,
don't
no,
know.
I didn't look
I don't know.
that up. But anyways, oh
I see. It's
yeah,
sold
yeah,
out
yeah,
on
yeah.
limited run, of course.
But then they had a lot of the stuff with it. So this deluxe edition had the foil box, slipcover, behind the scenes book, instruction booklet, retro dust jacket, a pin set, and a certificate of authenticity. Apparently, um, so yeah, I mean it's sold out. I don't think you're gonna get it again in terms of the limited run, the collector's edition. Basically, I don't think you'll be able to get that again. Who knows? Maybe in 3-4 years. I remember, I think it was Matt Houston that saying limited run games imposes like a pause. So you can do a limited run, but then you have to wait so many years before you can sell again. Which, okay, fair enough. So maybe
Yeah, yeah. He
later on.
says, yeah.
But if you can, and if the link is still good, let me just double check for you guys. Yeah, so sold by Japan Figure.com. You have Columbus Circle FC, Famicom-compatible machine, Astro Ninja Man DX, and it's £31. It comes in a boxed, and you can buy 3 apparently if you want.
It's fair, I think, the price.
Yeah,
For
that's what I'm saying.
boxed
It's not
copy.
even that expensive. Really good. I highly recommend if you like a shoot 'em up. It's not very long. I think that's the main problem I've got with it. But my God, if you can manage to make that far, then
Honestly, a shoot 'em up, you actually don't want to have a very
yeah,
long shoot 'em up, I guess, because you just want to beat it in maybe half an hour, because you can take more, and you want to replay and
yes,
replay and get
it's
better
mainly for that.
scores and better, maybe play it with one crit and never get hit or something. You have to make your own challenges and make it as long as you want, because I know people play Dodonpachi for maybe 200 hours and still haven't figured it
Yeah,
out.
it
So
might get frustrating that way. Yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't. It's also 5 stages. Most good shoot 'em ups are maybe 5-6 stages
yeah.
long.
So
So
I think this is more like a get you a high score sort of thing. So rather than if you compare this to stuff again like the thing that no one likes, Xenon 2 or other shooters, Parodius, Gradius, all those, they kind of have a
mm,
weapon system, and part of the charm of those games for me was exploring all the weapons and seeing the story unfold. This has nothing like that. This is just like, here's a bunch of stuff, I'll throw it all at you very quickly, just destroy everything, get a high score, go out.
very good for people with ADHD.
Yeah, yeah.
Just play it for 10
It's
minutes
really
and
mindless
you're
in
done
some
with it
ways. Yeah,
again
you're just
for.
looking at yourself and just making sure you're not shot, and that's just, oh, it's a sort of meditative in some way. Okay, yeah,
Nice. Well, I hope I'll
yeah,
check it
yeah.
out
Have a go at it if
someday.
you if you if
I'll
you
see.
fancy it. Yeah, it's not very expensive.
And maybe I can find the soundtrack
Yeah, do that.
to
That's
listen
amazing. The
to.
soundtracks are really good.
That
While you search that,
it's actually on
you can listen
it's
to the
on
soundtrack. Oh,
YouTube.
good. Yeah,
The
for free.
soundtrack.
There you go.
I don't know if it's
Well,
very
it
legal,
wouldn't
but
probably be
it's
then,
on
would it?
there.
I don't know. But anyways, well, I mean, YouTube's pretty strict on that sort of stuff. Okay, so we should move on. Today we have all the full segments. So let's move on to news, and let me press the button. I can't. Can you not see the buttons at the top? No. Oh, so I press it.